Jadav is back at it here to give everyone another Walking Dead Season 9 episode reaction video. But before I continue with that, it's extremely important, if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead, that you take the initiative and pay attention to the episode title, which of course I'll put in the description for you. If that's the case, you find out that you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This will be The Walking Dead Season 9, episode number 11. The title of this episode is called Bounty. This will be my reaction, review, recap of the episode, and keep in mind I've seen it a few times. Just doing a reaction to it to have it on the channel, and also doing a reaction to it due to the fact that The Walking Dead Season 11 is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show, and that is hard to believe. We start off with a flashback. Carol, Ezekiel, and Jerry wait for representatives from the Hilltop and Alexandria to arrive to trade goods in a clearing in the woods. Jerry reveals that he and his wife Navila are expecting a child. Good for Jerry and Navila. Eventually, Jesus, back from the dead, and Tara arrive with trade goods, and Jesus hands Ezekiel the Charter of Rights that Michonne had been developing for the kingdom to hold on to. Ezekiel becomes enamored by the document and promises Carol that someday the community leaders will sign it together. And then at the present time, Ezekiel looks at the charter at the kingdom just in awe of it. So Jesus was back from the dead because this happened before he was unfortunately or unceremoniously killed off in the season finale of Season 9, in case people are wondering. At the Hilltop, Alpha demands that the community residents turn over her daughter Lydia. She explains that she has removed her walker mask to show them that she comes in peace and willing to overlook their trespass of her lands. Daryl decides to walk outside to talk to Alpha face to face. The two meet. He is initially dismissive of Alpha's demands, as she and her human allies are few compared to the Hilltop forces. However, there are several more of Alpha's allies in wait beyond the tree lines, as well as a horde of walkers. Daryl tells Alpha that she can't have Lydia and informs her that he's ready to fight her people to ensure she doesn't get Lydia back. Until he spots one of the Whispers with a baby. Suddenly, a couple of Whispers bring up a tied-up Alden and Luke. Now, Alpha then offers to trade both of them to the Hilltop for her daughter, and then Daryl accepts. Inside the Hilltop, Daryl discovers that Henry and Lydia have escaped, and then Addie tells him that she knows where they went. She and Enid head out to find them while Daryl stalls time, and this took a long time, actually. As the standoff continues, the baby belonging to one of the disguised women starts to cry, drawing the walkers. Now, Alpha shrugs at the mother, indicating that she would leave the baby to die. Fearing for her life and not having any other choice, the baby's mother decides to abandon him as he continues to cry. Alden and Luke beg for Alpha to have the baby be spared, but Alpha, of course, refuses. The Hilltop guards bang on the fence to attract the walkers away from the baby. Unfortunately, it doesn't work at all. And then Luke frantically signs to Connie as he spots her in the cornfield to grab the baby. Then Connie does run out of the cornfield and rushes to save the child. And then the Whispers around her pull out their blades. And Connie has to escape back into the cornfield and is helped back to the Hilltop by Daryl, Kelly, Tammy, and Earl. So Tammy and Earl did something. That's for a surprise. And then soon after, Enid and Addie are able to track down Henry and Lydia to an abandoned house near the Hilltop, where Henry has provided Lydia a new set of clothes. Enid tries to convince Henry not to let the bad things change him and allow them to turn over Lydia, recalling how much death she herself has seen and the advice Carl had given her before he died. And unfortunately, though, Lydia opts to leave on her own accord and is traded for Alden and Luke. And Lydia actually gives Henry a kiss before she departs. And then reunited, Lydia apologizes to her mother, but is smacked in the face by Alpha across the face because she wants her to address her as Alpha and not Mom. And then she smiles at Daryl as they leave. And at the kingdom, with the fair approaching, Ezekiel leads a scouting party to a nearby town. His goal is to obtain a projection ball from a movie theater to replace one that is broken, but the theater is packed with walkers. And what they do is they play a boombox away from the building and hope all the walkers go that way, and then they can go in the theater and get what they want. Carol, of course, is initially against the plan, but is convinced by Ezekiel, who explains how this will be positive improvement for the kingdom with minimal incident. They recover the bulb, as well as one of the poster display cases, which Ezekiel wants to use so he can frame the Charter of Rights in once it's signed. And then Ezekiel's group then departs the theater and travels back to the kingdom. And then the child recovered by Connie is turned over to Earl and Tammy to raise. That evening, Henry leaves a note and sneaks out of the hilltop to find Lydia. His departure is soon learned by Daryl, who finds out that Henry couldn't live with letting Lydia go. Daryl then decides to chase him down, but is stopped by Connie, who insists to let her join him as she feels the same way as Henry did. And then they both departed together as the episode ends. So, a little bit slower than the last episode, in my opinion. Good stuff, a lot of good stuff from Alpha, good stuff from Lydia, good character development from Lydia. Daryl was pretty good in this episode, so was Alpha. But it was just a little slow, and some of the parts were stalling. I'm going to give the episode a 7.8 out of 10. My character of the episode, I was going to give it to Daryl, but I'm going to give it to Alpha because she was just so menacing in this episode just by standing there with her bald head, in my opinion. So, it's time for you to comment with your thoughts. You've heard what I have to say, of course. If you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like this episode, or just a fan in general, go ahead and smash the like button. If you know anyone that would be interested in this video, go ahead and share that to them. Don't forget to leave me a comment with your thoughts. You can talk about anything Walking Dead related or this episode or whatever you want to talk about. And of course, last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And JDev will return.